Therapist Reacts. Today we're going to talk about honoring the choices of others, even if we don't agree with them, honoring that they have free will and can make choices for their own lives. And what better example can we find than David Archuleta? David Archuleta, you may know as a finalist on American Idol several years ago, well, quite a few years ago, but he was very popular at the time. And then he faded from the public eye, but in his own religious community, man was a superstar and has been ever since. David is a practicing member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, also known as the Mormon Church, a faith that is known for its staunch support and promotion of the nuclear family, right, of the traditional family. It's trying to mend its relationship with the LGBT community, but there are bridges that are hard to build, because doctrinally that faith states that marriage is between a man and a woman and sexual activity is reserved for marriage. And so members of the faith are expected to live celibate lives outside of marriage. And if you are LGBTQ+, that means if you're going to be devout in the faith, you're going to be celibate forever, because obvious reasons. So David comes out and he talks about the need for compassion, how his faith is a huge part of him, and it gives him a lot of peace and meaning and joy. And he prayed for God to take these feelings away. And to some people, that's repugnant. They're saying, why would you do that? Embrace who you are and be with a man or be with a woman. And they'd say, God made you this way. While others would say, we admire you for sticking to your values. And there's just going to be war between these two factions. In fact, it's already brewing. People who are more traditional believers and see David as somebody who can be a poster child, a rallying point for staying true to the faith even when you have these urges. People who are LGBTQ plus and part of that community and living it openly are wanting him to free himself from the shackles of his faith and saying it's so sad and it's so depressing. And now we've got a tug of war with him in the middle, and everyone kind of wants him to go their way. And to his credit, and I don't mean to his credit as in you should agree with his position, but to his credit and as far as the personal strength, he's not letting any of the voices dictate his decision. He said that his faith and his beliefs and his sexuality are both part of who he is. And he does recognize that God made him this way, and he's no longer praying for the emotions to go away, but that he's trying to navigate both. And it seems to many an impossibility, but here's the point I want to get to. No matter what he chooses to do with his life, it's his choice. And both sides, I see, tend to value personal choice as long as people choose what they think is right. Right? The traditional religionists who are saying, David, you're a hero, because he said, people in my faith and leaders in my faith have actually been very supportive and loving and caring. Now, in the interest of full transparency, I'm also a member of that faith, of the Latter-day Saint faith. And while I am not LGBTQ+, I see the beauty in the relationships, the marriages, the romance, the companionship, the families. They're valid in my eyes. Like, I was raised to be honest. That was part of my religious upbringing, is the importance of honesty. And I spend time with LGBTQ+ couples. And I have to honestly admit, their love is beautiful to me. And so I'm trying to navigate the waters myself, because on the flip side, there are experiences that I have had that I find to be sacred, that guide me to stay in the lane that I'm in and do as much good as I can there. And that people who are devoutly, traditionally religious sometimes have a hard time seeing the beauty of people who are living and believing differently. But the reverse is also true. A lot of members of the LGBTQ+ community, they see traditional religionists and they see bigots and they see hatred and they see subjugation and mind control, and they see people who are miserable and trapped. While that may be true for some people, a lot of people find a lot of joy in their beliefs. David Archuleta is one of them. So how do we navigate this? Well, he's going to navigate it however he chooses to. He may go straight down the middle, and he says, I'm going to be celibate unless and until I get married. And some people are upset with him for this. He may say, I don't choose to practice this religion anymore. And the people who are supporting him in the faith now, some of them may turn on him. He may say, I'm going to practice my faith, and people in the LGBT community who are wanting to welcome him may say he's a traitor. But all of us have to choose the path we want to walk. There are people who are not LGBTQ plus who choose religious celibacy for various reasons. Just because a path isn't one you agree with or you would choose yourself doesn't mean it won't lead to happiness for someone, or even if you think they're wrong and they're going to be miserable, that it's not their right to make that choice. We do best when we make room at the table for everybody and we honor each other's choices and we learn from one another why this is right for you. Why do you believe this? Why do you see it this way? David, I honor you, and I honor whatever choice you're going to make. I'm Jonathan Decker, licensed therapist with Mended. If you like this, check out this other video on Britney Spears and her father's conservatorship and my reaction to that. Sound off in the comments about tradition versus progress or progressivism and all these things, and what you're thinking of David Archuleta and what you think of my thoughts. And if you disagree or agree or you have anything to add, I'd love to hear it. Like, subscribe, click the bell to get our new videos. I'm Jonathan Decker with Mended. Let your light shine because we need it. Bye.